So this morning while I was making my breakfast, Emmy kept meowing at the window. And I go to investigate what's outside, and there was a kitty outside. Not a tiny, tiny kitty, but pretty young cat. And it just sat there watching us, didn't it, Emmy? But as soon as I went outside to try to make friends, it went and hid. And I did put some food outside to see if it comes back. So we'll see. Emmy is on the lookout, huh? Are you looking for that kitty? Vlogmas day 21. Today is Friday, December 21st. I don't know that I've properly checked in this morning. Of course, Fridays is my grocery pickup day. I'm still drinking on my coffee that I picked up this morning while I was out. I've been knitting on Wyatt's socks this morning. The first one is done. I finished it yesterday. I should have brought them over here to show you. I'll show you after we're done here. I finished the first one yesterday. I Kitchenered up the toe while I was waiting on them to get out of school, and then quickly tucked them up in the bag, and I started the second sock last night after they went to bed. So I'm just past the cuff. They will definitely be done by Christmas, barring some crazy thing that keeps me from knitting. But now it will just be working on them when he's not awake or when he's not in the room. It'll be some secret knitting to get them done. But let's go ahead and open up day 21, and then I've brought my computer down so that we can go ahead and do the rest of the Ask Me Anything questions today. The boys have early release today, so I've only got about an hour until I have to go pick them up. It goes by so quick when they have early release. So day 21, let's go ahead and see what that is. Oh, this is a pretty one. This is Artistic Lily Birthday Confetti, and it's gonna get blown out, but I will do a proper video of it after we do the Ask Me Anything questions. All right, I think we left off on 15 yesterday. Yes, okay, so number 16, how many finished objects did you have in 2018? Okay, one thing I want to be better about next year, I don't really make New Year's resolutions because I've done it in the past, and I feel like if I don't follow through with them, I kind of set myself up for bad feelings and all of that. So anyways, that's a totally different conversation, but one thing I want to be better about in 2019 is tracking my projects. So I'm normally very, very good about project pages on Ravelry, but there were some this year that I'm like, I did this and this and this, and I have 0 project pages for them. So I want to somehow find a better way of tracking my finished objects in 2019. I've got my planner set up and ready, and I'm going to try to track in the back of my planner in the notes section my projects for 2019. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I want to really try to track them better just so I have a better total of what I finished. But I went through and tried to count how many finished objects I have, and from what I can tell, there were 56. There may have been some more that I didn't put in or take pictures of, but I think 56 is the total. Now, when I finish, you know, like Wyatt's socks and the cowl for Eric, that'll add a couple more, but 56 is what I've counted. That doesn't count like dishcloths or pot holders, because I did a couple of things like that this year. I did quite a few dishcloths in the beginning of the year, and I didn't count any of those towards finished objects. So about 56, we'll say. Okay. Number 17, how many project bags do you own? I would love to see a tour of them. I own way too many project bags, if there is such a thing. I won't get them out and do a tour right now, but I'm thinking I might do a de-stash here soon of some of them. I feel like they don't all get the love that they should. So I would love for some of them to go to a home where I know that they're going to get loved in the proper way. So there may be a de-stash coming sometime soon, we'll see. But I have zero idea exactly the count of how many I have. There's quite a few. Number 18, what knitting technique haven't you done yet that you want to try? The only one that I could really think of, I mean, of course, I have not tried every single knitting technique that there possibly is to try, but I would love to try steeking. I have yet to do that. I'm intrigued by it. I have not been brave enough to try it, but that's definitely on my list. I don't know if it's on my list for 2019, but that's definitely something I would like to try in the future. Number 19, who taught you to knit? I am self-taught. I learned from a Better Homes and Gardens book, 1, 2, 3 Knit was the title of it. I actually still have it upstairs. If I was recording upstairs at the desk, I could show you, but yeah, A Better Homes and Garden, 1, 2, 3 Knit was the name of it. I learned out of that book. Number 20, what does your husband do for work? So I don't really talk about his job a lot. There are a lot of aspects of his job that I probably can't even know anything about, and a lot that I don't understand. He works for Lockheed Martin with the F-35 jet program alongside the military. Number 21, do you miss your old house? This is a two-part question. First part, do you miss your old house? I'm guessing you mean the house in North Carolina, and I don't know. I guess I've never really thought about if I miss that house. We've moved so much that I don't feel like I really form any attachments to the houses that we live in because we've moved so much. And I think, you know, our philosophy as a family has always been that home is wherever we're together. Home is not necessarily a house, it's where we are together as a family. That's our home is us together. So I don't know, I haven't really thought about it, I guess. And the second part of that question was, how did you learn to knit socks? I just kind of taught myself. I watched a lot of Very Pink Knits videos on YouTube and followed the vanilla latte sock pattern and just looked at the Very Pink Knits videos when I needed help with how exactly to pick up the gusset stitches or things like that. Number 22, are or would you consider creating a sock club? So I did toy with that idea of creating a sock club for 2019. I even posted about it on Instagram, a poll if people would be interested, how often you would want the patterns to come out. So I really put some thought into whether I wanted to do that. And at this time I've decided not to do it for 2019. I still plan on releasing a sock pattern every month as time will allow, but my schedule as a stay-at-home mom, housewife, can just be so crazy sometimes and that's my first priority, is being a mom and a wife and taking care of my family and my house, that I don't really want to put that pressure on myself to have a pattern out every month. That's my goal, is to have a new sock pattern out every month, but I don't want that pressure of having people already paid for the sock club throughout the year. If something happens and I don't get to it, you know, that whole thing. And so I don't know, I'm not putting the pressure on myself to have a sock club in that manner, that you have to pay for up front and get the patterns throughout the year. But I do plan on having a new sock pattern released once a month throughout 2019. Number 23, how long have you been knitting and who taught you to knit? So I already answered the who taught me to knit question. I learned myself from a book. How long have I been knitting? I learned to knit I believe it was while I was pregnant with Wyatt, and he turned 9 in July. So I have been knitting over 9 years, probably almost 10 years. Number 24, with 4 pets, how do you combat hair getting all over your knitting? So it does happen with 4 pets. It's just inevitable that animal hair is going to end up occasionally on my knitting. There are certain things that I do, I feel like, that keep it at bay, I guess, keep it from being even worse. One major thing is we do not allow the dogs on the furniture here in the living room. They're not allowed on the couches, not allowed in my knitting chair. They're the major shedders when it comes to dogs versus cats. The dogs definitely win that on the shedding front. So not allowing them on the furniture really makes a huge difference with that, I think. They're not up there while I'm knitting, and it just keeps hair off of the furniture. You know, you lay your project on the couch or something. So yeah, that definitely is a big factor, I think, that we don't allow them on the furniture. We used to. Chloe's just so massive that just our old couches, the wear and tear just of her getting up and down off of the couch really did a number on our couch. So when we bought a new living room set a while back, we've had this for years, but when we bought this set, we decided no more animals on the furniture. Now the cats, I say that, but we got the cats and they're allowed on the furniture because they're cats and they do what they want. And Calvin does lay in my lap and stuff, so it's inevitable that the cat hair ends up on knitting sometimes, but like I said, they don't shed as bad as the dogs, so I feel like it's not as huge of an issue. And I'm kind of obsessive about vacuuming and cleaning. If you have not been able to tell from Vlogmas, I vacuum and clean a lot. So my husband calls me Danny Tanner sometimes, if y'all have ever watched Full House and you see how he is a bit obsessive about cleaning and vacuums his vacuum. Like, yeah, I'm a bit obsessive about cleaning. So I vacuum a lot, vacuum the furniture a lot, the floors a lot, so I feel like that really cuts down on it as well. But like I said, it does happen with 4 animals. I have animal hair occasionally in my knitting. Number 25, what are your plans for 2019? Knitting, designing, cows, etc. So I don't know. I would like to knit more garments. I have some garments I would like to knit. Designs, like I said, I would love to do 1 sock pattern a month. I would like to do other designs as well. But definitely more sock designs, because that is where my heart is with designing, with knitting. I just love socks, obviously. Knit-alongs. We have the Selfish Cow coming up that starts December 24th and ends March 31st. That's a fun one. This is the 3rd year that I will have done the Selfish knit-along, and it's one I looked forward to the past 2 years, and I'm really anxious for this year. I think it's just so much fun, whether you do gift knitting or not. It's just so much fun to kind of celebrate the selfish knitting and celebrate taking the time to make something for ourselves. So that one's coming up. I don't think I'm gonna do the sock knit along this coming year, 2019. I kind of want to just free up the time, the space, the prizes for whatever knit-alongs come my way that I'm feeling passionate about, whether it be a new pattern that comes out that, you know, everybody's wanting to knit, we want to do a knit-along for. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of free up right now. The only one that's gonna be going on is the Selfish knit-along. That's gonna be it. 26, are the kids going to miss snow this year? I don't know, we haven't really talked about it. Wyatt probably will. He had always wished to see snow. He had seen it as a baby but did not remember it. So he'd always wished to see snow, and he got to see that in North Carolina. So I don't know, he might. Austin was kind of whatever about snow to begin with. But the fun thing is we could drive a couple hours up north and see snow. So it's not like it's not here in Arizona. We just don't get it particularly here where we are around Phoenix. Number 27. Besides Full of Knit and the Girls in the Yarn Cafe, what other knitting or crafting podcast would you highly recommend to those of us who have just recently discovered the wonderful world of podcasts? So off the top of my head, some of my all-time favorites are Knitting Expat, Yarn Hoarder, Sandy by the Lakeside, Adelaide Cottage, Love Sock Wool, Legacy Fiber Arts. There's Calvin. Do you want to say hi? Oh, he looks kind of grumpy. Are you kind of grumpy? I don't know where he's been this morning. He likes to nap under our bed, so he might have been napping, resting up from all the terror he caused overnight and gearing up to cause more. Oh, what can I get into? You're so cute. All right, so I think that is all of the Ask Me Anything questions. If I missed any of your questions, feel free to just pop them down below. I try so hard to keep up with comments. Sometimes I do miss some though, so pop them down below if I missed any questions and I will get those answered. I sat down to watch Vlogmas and knit for a bit. And I realized I've only got like 20 minutes before I have to go get the kids. I don't know where this morning went. But I wanted to show you Wyatt's socks. So here's the first one. I showed it at the end of yesterday's Vlogmas, but it is all done. I still have all my markers. And in case anyone is curious, because I get asked this a lot, it's probably the most asked question that I get. Why do I do the markers? So many markers down my sock. And I mark every 10 rows. For me, that's just easier. And then when I go to do the second sock, I don't have to measure the second sock as I'm going. I know X amount of rows is what I need to do for the leg, for the foot. Done. So this is marking the leg, and then Spider-Man is marking where I started the heel flap, and then down the foot. So I just did the red for the heel and the cuff. I didn't do it for the toe. So I think it turned out pretty cute. And now I'm on the second sock. This is what I have done so far. It'll get done because he likes short socks, so it'll be perfect. Now I'm gonna go knit. 20 minutes is all I have. 20 minutes until Christmas break starts. I wanted to let you guys know, I just announced this on Instagram as well, that I put up a coupon code on Ravelry for 50% off my patterns. So if you head over and you use the code Christmas2018, you will get 50% off. I have never done a discount code for quite that big, but I am just feeling so overwhelmingly thankful to everybody that has supported the podcast, my designing. This year, it's been such an amazing year, full of so much growth for me, just as a human being all around, I think, as a mother, as a wife, as a designer, as a knitter. So I'm just feeling so thankful today, and I wanted to pass that along to you guys and let you all know that I'm very thankful for each and every one of you that support me. So yeah, thank you, and happy shopping, happy knitting, and let's get ready for some selfish knitting because the 3rd annual Selfish Cow will be here before we know it.